Well, it's time of the year again for LifeHackster's Home Smart Security Tour of 2022.
Hello guys, LifeHackster here. It is time of the year again for my smart home security tour. If you've been following my channel, I've been doing this type of video yearly, just to show you guys what system I use and my setup to protect my home. By the way, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet, and I appreciate it. Thank you. No major changes as compared before, and as long as the product works, I tend to keep using them. I have both an NVR system and also Wi-Fi based cameras around the house. And as I have said before, the best setup as to security cameras would still be a wired NVR system. Local recording to the hard drive, so no monthly fees, up to 4K resolution, and the footage is basically the best and way better than any Wi-Fi type cameras. You can set it to record 24/7 if you want, but you can always set it to only detect motion, but set the sensitivity to the highest so that you're not going to miss any motion events. You can plug in a dedicated small TV or monitor so that you have real-time look around your house. I'm still using my Reolinks, and this is mostly because of the price. It is pretty affordable as compared to other brands. And you can always start with their 8-channel NVR 4-camera system, and you can mix and match other cameras and resolutions. The only downside of wired NVR cameras is the wiring. And if you are planning to build a house, you need to allot a budget to pre-wire your new house with Cat6 Ethernet cabling. I use the Reolinks as a backup to my Wi-Fi cameras, and if I want a clearer footage, then I download the one recorded from my NVR. And I've also set it up so that it will still record even when the power is out. For real-time notifications and be able to easily use the two-way talk or the siren if needed, I still use Ring cameras around the house. So let's start at the side of the house, which I have the Ring stick-up cam. In battery power, not bad in battery usage, around 2.5 months when it needs to be recharged. I have plans of plugging this in and routing the wires to my attic, and will put in a different mount in my future video. I also have my Ring solar wall light, which still has been working great, pretty much charged in higher 90s all the time. Going to my front garage area, I'm still using my older Ring floodlight cam. This is my second one though, because 2 years ago I had this replaced free of charge from Ring when I noticed that the plastic lens cover has fallen off. No issues with the camera though, and it was still working. And I had the first one for 2 years and 8 months before this issue. So with the floodlight cam, I've used this for a total of almost 5 years now. On the other side is the Eufy SoloCam S40, which has been here since I reviewed it. It had a rough start when it first came out, that it goes offline several times that I had to do a manual reset every time. But now it seems everything is ironed out and I haven't had any issues. Also, because it's been cloudy the last 2 weeks, my battery went down to 77%, the lowest it has been since I've installed it. But I do have it in customized recordings, which it records 60 seconds of footage every time. It usually gets activated 10 to 15 times a day. Going to my front door, I'm using the Ring Video Doorbell Pro 2, and has been working good and I haven't had any issues. I like its field of view and 1:1 aspect ratio. I'm able to see everything that I need to see in my front door. I also like the auto live view with two-way talk with your Echo Show devices, so you don't have to have your phone to talk to somebody in your front door. My family appreciates this feature that they can respond from our Echo Show devices. I'm also still using the Eufy Smart Lock Wi-Fi, which since I reviewed it, I only have to charge the rechargeable battery twice. And the only thing that Eufy should have done is having the micro USB port for charging accessible while the battery is in, so that you can recharge it while it is still in the lock, minimizing downtime. It takes about 5 to 7 hours to fully charge the battery. My front area still has the smart lighting from Ring. I have this low voltage lighting that is controlled by the Ring transformer and is on a schedule to turn on at night. I also have a couple of Ring's battery path lights, which already replaced the batteries twice, so battery life is around a year and a few months, and I don't mind changing them every year. Going to the side of the house, my Lupus Whitened solar light eventually gave out, and I really don't know when, but I have at least 3 years worth of use, which is pretty good for a solar light. I know I have been running these items, which unfortunately they are not sold anymore at Amazon, so I'm not sure if the company is still around or it folded, but their solar lights still work good. In the back corner of the house, we have my Ring Spotlight Cam mount version, and has been working without issues since I reviewed this January of 2018, so it is going to be 4 years old. Now, you will notice that there is a common theme on the Ring cameras that I have here, which I'll talk more about later on. The main backyard area is my proving and testing ground when I review outdoor cameras. And there is usually some cameras set up here, but at this time there's nothing. I do have the Ring solar floodlight, which has been working okay. I did have an issue though around the first quarter of this year that the rechargeable battery has been draining, even with the solar panel. I replaced the battery and I didn't have the issue again. I also have the disposable battery version of the Ring Smart Lighting Floodlight, which I think I've replaced the batteries 2 times. So the battery life is also a year and a few months. Going into our patio, we have my oldest functioning Ring camera to date. And this is the Ring Spotlight Cam wired or the plugged-in version. As usual, no issues, and I had this working for 4 years and 4 months now. It is pretty reliable and dependable in detection. And this I set to only person detection. It hasn't missed any detection yet. And on this corner of the house, we have the fanciest floodlight cam yet, my Eufy Floodlight Cam 2 Pro. It is the most expensive floodlight cam to date, but it has all the features that you can think of. Pan and tilt with motion tracking, and the floodlights that you can control the brightness, which is up to 3000 lumens, and have bicolor lights from warm yellow to daylight white. Also take note that I have to do a couple of resets since I had it, because of offline issues, which is around the same time my S40 had the same issue. But the last couple of weeks, it had a weird issue where the recordings of motion events can only be viewed and accessed after a day. I still got the notifications and the buffered clip, and I know the recordings are saved in the internal memory, but it was weird that you cannot see the footage until a day later. I informed Eufy and I did restart the camera from the app, and it was fine since then. Now going to the side of the house, we have the Ring Smart Lighting Spotlight, and guess what? How old do you think are the batteries in these? I did have to check if this spotlight ever turns on at night, and I am surprised it does. I haven't changed the batteries yet, and it has been 2 years and 7 months, and it still has 43% left. Going further in, I have a Lemontech solar light which still works good, and this is where my Ring Spotlight Cam battery is set up. I do have 2 batteries which gives me 4 to 5 months of battery life. I usually swap out the drained one though while the backup battery is working, and replace a fresh battery which becomes the backup. This is my oldest battery powered camera from Ring, 4 years and 2 months. I do have to deduct at least 8 to 10 months that I didn't use this, around the first year that I reviewed it, because I had issues with choppy footage. But now it's been working okay. Now on my back door, I still have the Quick Set Halo Touch. And I also realized that we really don't use the smart lock features of the lock in this back door. 90% of the time, we manually open the lock from the inside. It does have a routine in Alexei though to automatically lock the door if not locked at a scheduled time every night, which does work. The notification is still only visual though in my iPhone. No alert tones or anything. Nope. And I had replaced the batteries 1 time already since I reviewed it 5 months ago. So battery life is about every 4 months. And whenever I have time, I'll switch this back to the Wise Lock. I do like the fingerprint reader though, but remember, a weakness of a fingerprint reader, and this also applies to Eufy smart locks, is wet and cold fingers. It doesn't work. You have to dry your finger first. Try doing that after a run. I always have to resort to typing in the passcode, which unfortunately this Quickset Halo Touch doesn't have. Inside the house, I have the Eufy Indoor Cam Pan and Tilt version, which is in my ceiling, and also the Eufy Minicam monitoring my living room area, but mostly have a good view of my back door. I also have the Wisepan version 2 and the older Ring wired stick-up cam in the front area covering my front and side door. In my garage, I have the EasyViz C1C and also the Ring Indoor Cam. There's 2 of them here because I'm testing the long-term use of these cameras. Now for my indoor cameras, I don't have the notifications turned on unless we are out of the house, like when we are on a vacation. Most record locally in their microSD cards except for the Ring, which records to the cloud. I also have my camera through glass window setup, which I have my Wisecam V3 on the Wise window mount, which works good. Eufy or Amazon sellers, you need to make one for the Eufy Solo indoor cams. You can use the Wise window mount for now, but it is not a perfect fit. and you need to strap it in because it will eventually fall out. And for my home alarm, I still have the Ring alarm, and I had this since I reviewed them July of 2018. So 3 years and 5 months, no issues. The most I changed the batteries on the sensors would be 2 times, and it is on the living room motion sensor. I do have smoke and carbon monoxide detectors and Ring flood water sensors that are configured to the Ring alarm. And if you have been watching my channel, they have and are working pretty good. I'm planning to upgrade to the Alarm Pro, which I'm just doing it because of this channel. But personally, I really don't want to upgrade because my house setup is a bit unique, and the base station of the Pro needs to be centrally located in the house to get most of its features, plus the increased subscription. So the ones that are grandfathered in, my recommendation is to wait it out until 2025 when Ring will charge everybody the new pricing. I'll talk more about this in another video. As to smart home assistants, I do have both the Google and Amazon Alexa, which because I have Ring, I use Alexa most if not all the time. I have routines set up like making sure my smart locks are locked at night and giving me notifications when my back door or my shed is open. And definitely helpful in seeing and talking to the person in our front door. I also have smart bulbs and smart switches around the house, and they are set up in Alexa to randomly turn on and off at night when my Ring alarm is armed, which when we are not at home. My thermostat is still the Nest E, which I've been using for more than 4 years now. I have no issues with it, and I can easily control it not just with Google Home but also with Alexa. Anyways, that's it for this 2022 tour. And what I want to share with you guys, if budget allows or if you can build up to it, is to have 2 systems. An NVR system as a passive locally recording system so that you can retrieve high quality footage if a crime has already happened. And with a dedicated monitor, you can stream the footage of all your cameras in real time. And the second system is a Wi-Fi system for real-time notifications, so that you will have an option to prevent the crime in the first place, and a cloud-recorded footage just in case your NVR system has been compromised. Now, I am and will still be using Ring because of the reliability and dependability of their wired Wi-Fi cameras, which I have one working for more than 4 years now. Ring is constantly updating the features and their app, and I never had an offline issue on their cameras that I need to reset. And what I like is the ease of use of their app. Everything is integrated when you open up the app. The cameras will update with the current snapshots. You can see and control everything in the first page, like control the alarm, and I know that I need to change the battery in my living room sensor. I have a quick glance on the status of my compatible smart locks, my garage door, and my smart lighting, and easily access the cameras. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.